Hey everyone, it's Angel again. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my little world here. Today's video is going to be a not necessarily a tutorial or a demo. I don't feel comfortable calling it that, but I wanted to record my process in putting together a junk journal slash photo album slash scrapbook slash whatever she wants it to be. Just assembling like this little book for my very, very dear friend, one of my oldest, dearest, best friends in the whole entire world, who lives in upstate New York, just as a thank you for always being there for me and supporting me and encouraging me in all of my life. And so we've known each other since we were 8 years old. That's about 22 years. Good Lord, do the math. Yeah. And I just wanted to make something for her, just because when I was telling her about what I have been doing lately, she was so enthusiastic about it and so encouraging about it, and so excuse the noise. I have to leave the door open for my puppy who's sunbathing on the porch. But anyway, let me get started before I chit chat. This isn't a tutorial. It's just like a demo of the process. I will speed up all of the things that I think you might not be interested in. But I got this book a few weeks ago. This was a book full of blank paper, notebook paper, at the dollar store, and I have all of this paper that I got at Tuesday morning in a pack that was on sale. Well, both of them, they come from separate packs. So this is from the same pack, and then this beautiful wood grain pattern is from a different one. And I tried to pick colors and patterns that were a little bit more neutral, since it is fall, and like most of the stuff that I have, I bought when it was in the middle of summertime, and so I don't like, that looks kind of summery, but I feel like because it's green and it doesn't have like a lot of pinks in it, it's not too summery. But no matter what, I think she's gonna like it. She's always loved everything that I've done. So I went ahead and measured everything out, and actually in doing the measurements I got a little bit confused. So I think the best thing that I'm going to do right now is just go ahead and fold everything to make it into a signature. So I'm going to do it in one signature. That might not be a good idea since these papers are so thick, but I'm just going to wing it. And so so that's what I'm going to do, and then yeah, and I will speed that up. So and then this, I should go ahead and cut that. I don't know if I want this. So the problem with it, I don't know if I want this to be the wood grain up and down or the wood grain side to side. Kind of like it up down, but maybe that won't be, yeah, I like it up down. So I'm just gonna roughly cut that. Well, let me go ahead and just to make it easy when I make the signatures, just so I can they can roughly be the same size, and then that way when I have to cut them, it'll make it easier for me. And every time I use this paper cutter, I am so happy that I bought it. Okay, hopefully that's straight. I feel like this paper cutter might not be straight, like the line might not be straight, but whatever. Okay, so I just kind of want to show you how I did the measurements, really, because doing the measurements with a ruler, it kind of confused me, and I'm sure there's a more professional bookbinding way of doing the measurements. And I mean, I know it's simple math. You can just measure it and multiply it by 2 measure both sides and multiply it by 2, but it just confused me. And I think that, confusion like that tends to intimidate people when they want to do something, and then they just get, well, at least me, it intimidated me, and that's what kind of discouraged me for a long time about doing a junk journal. So basically all I did was I stuck the first paper, I just took one of the papers from the signature, in the middle. And, well, I'll show you a bigger piece, so it's, you know what I mean. I just stuck it in there and, marked it with a pencil. And since my paper cutter can pretty much only do 2 thick pieces of paper at a time, I only did 1 piece of paper, or I'm only doing 1 at a time, but I'm using the first one that I did as the template. And so that's basically all I'm doing. And so, yeah, so that's it. That's the way I'm doing it. And just putting one on top of the other and putting it down on my paper trimmer. And if you don't have a paper trimmer, just do it the old-fashioned way with a ruler and some scissors. It's just I don't have good scissors that I can cut, very straight or very accurately with. And this just really helps me with that. And another thing that happens is because these papers are so thick, like once you get them all cut out and then you close them, some of the papers are not straight, like, because they're so thick, when you fold them and you put them, you make them into a signature, they don't look even, and that might drive some people crazy. So you can just take some scissors or a trimmer and trim that. That doesn't bother me. For now, I'm just gonna get everything cut and see how it looks, and I will make my adjustments then. And yeah, so for now I'm just gonna finish doing this. Okay, everything's cut, everything's roughly around the same size. Oh, I do need to clean this little piece up a little bit. So now I have to reassemble it the way that I wanted it, in the order that I wanted it, and make sure that it looks cute. So I think I want this to be like that, right? Yeah, I like that. And then anyway, I want this to be, I'm just trying to make sure I got the order that I want them in. I like that the one that's different and bold is right in the middle, because I don't know, it'll be cute. So like I said, all of the, like some of the papers, especially in the middle, because this is such thick paper, is sticking out. And it probably would be a better idea for me to do 2 signatures instead of just 1. But I don't want to. I'm too lazy to do it that way. And it's not so much, and it's not that I'm lazy, I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to do it the way I want to do it. So I just want to make sure that like once I get them in, that they're not going to stick out too much. And they are sticking out, but I'm going to worry about that after I do the stitching and glue them in, I think. Or should I go ahead and retrim? I think I'm going to go ahead and retrim everything. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Or no, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is prep them for the stitching. And I'm going to do it like the basic, that basic bookbinding stitch. I'm going to get all the holes in, poke all the holes. I have to do it with an X-Acto knife because I do not have a hole puncher or an awl or anything like that. I'm just going to have to make do, which I love to do. And I'm just going to use the basic bookbinding stitch, and I won't bore you guys with the details about it. Okay, actually, I wasn't going to record this part, but I think I am, just if anybody's watching and, they don't if they're like me and they don't have the, all of the tools and the stuff that you need, I think I'm going to go ahead and continue to record this just so you can see the process and see how it's done by somebody like me who kind of doesn't know what they're doing. So I didn't even, I didn't measure it. I don't feel like measuring it. I just roughly looked for the middle, and I just used my my craft knife, X-Acto knife, to make like a little hole. And I can tell that's not exactly in the middle, but it doesn't matter. It's a junk journal. So, and then I'm going to go in that's about 3/4 of an inch, just about, I think, and poke a hole right there. And I don't care how big or small it is, because I will be reinforcing it, when I need to. And so that's all I'm doing. I'm just making the hole big enough so that when I do sew it together, that it'll be big enough for the needle to get through. And then I'm gonna use this, this middle sheet that I did the first 3 holes at. This is just a regular kitchen cutting board, and use the first paper that I cut holes into, as you see here, as my stencil, and just cut into each and every single one. And so yeah, so that's all I'm doing. Okay, so I'm almost ready to start sewing, but just to quickly show you, this is going to be my little hidden spine. This is just a piece of scrap paper. It's a little bit thinner than cardstock, but thicker than regular paper. I think this is like a piece of packing paper that I got probably from an Amazon order, because you guys know that that's like basically like where I shop. And so I'm just going to poke some holes to, let me put them together with this clip. That'll make it easier for me to poke the little holes that I need to poke. And so I can poke the holes in it. And you'll see that I didn't, like I left it a little bit bigger than I needed to. A little bit longer, this strip of paper that I'm using for the hidden spine. I made it a little bit longer than it needs to be, just to give myself a little bit of extra leeway. Just in case I make a mistake. I just thought it would be a good idea to like leave it. So, okay, so now I'm ready to start sewing. And actually, I'm gonna keep this clip. I want to put the clip on, so I'm going to clip it in such a way that it is, everything is clipped together. And this is not really necessary, but that's just going to make it a little bit easier for me. So yeah. So I have this hot pink string or thread that I got from my mom. This isn't any kind of special thread. It's just your basic cotton polyester blend thread from wherever it is my mom buys her thread. And this is the biggest needle that I have. This is not a bookbinding needle. I think this might be a quilting needle. I'm not sure. Like I said, I got it from my mom, but use whatever you have. So yeah. And so I'm just going to start from the middle, and I've seen tutorials where they start in the middle on the inside, but I think since I'm making a hidden spine, I'm going to start on the outside. So I just went through the middle, and I'm going to leave about, because I made sure that I had a lot more thread than I needed. So I'm just making sure that I have enough to tie when I'm done. And I have way more thread than I'm ever gonna need for this. But I think the best thing to keep that secure is to use some washi tape. So, or any kind of tape. I hope this doesn't confuse you guys. Like, I hope, I hope you're enjoying this. Because I am. So that's just, just to help me keep it secure. Because the sewing part is so tedious. It's so tedious. And I'm not, you know, OCD about, like, you know, I'm not OCD about it. But I do feel like if I'm going to do something, I want to do it, you know, sort of right, somewhat right. So, so there we go. So we got that. And then going back to the middle. And this part is really, really tedious, the sewing. If I had a sewing machine, I would be done with this in, like, you know, 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Oh, that's like the hole I made. Look at that hole I made. But that's okay, because I'm gonna fix it. Anything can be fixed through art. Anything. So, okay, so there we are. And I want to make it as tight as possible, but not too tight. You know, I don't want to tear into the paper. So I'm just keeping my finger there to secure it. And I'm going to try to get the needle. There we go. So we're almost done here. So there we go. I mean, I'm just about done. So all I have to do now is tie it securely. Oops. I don't need my needle anymore. Let me put it over here. So I just have to make sure that it's secure. And oh, you know what I should have done? Let me stick it through here. Here I was really proud of myself, and okay, there you go. Crisis averted. Okay, so all I did was put the needle, put the thread through this stitch right here, and so I'm just gonna pull everything tight before I tie it up. And so now I'm ready to tie it, and to make it easier, I'm going to cut my thread a little shorter. So there we go. It's like angel style bookbinding. Easy, simple, no complications. There we go. And then I can cut it. And then I can take this piece of tape and just to secure it, just to be a little bit OCD, you know, just to be sure. Put a little bit of glue. This is just my craft stick glue. I'm almost out, or at least in that stick. I have to open up the pack I bought. Well, we'll do it this way. So so there we go. So that will create our little hidden spine. And yeah, so now what I'm going to do is try to figure out how I want it to sit in the book. And see how it, like, my pages stick out a little bit. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Like, really all I'm really worried about is just making sure that I'm kind of in the middle. And I'm going to glue it down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tacky glue, and I've never, like, I just bought it this week. I've been using Elmer's glue since forever, but like I said in my last video, I'm a total copycat, and a lot of the artists that I watch that do junk journal, like junky junk journals, like the ones that I love, use this glue, and so I went out and bought it when I ran out. So I'm just going to use, and I'm going to be pretty generous with it, which means that the drying time is, you know, it's going to take a little while to dry, but I don't really have a whole lot of patience, but for this part I will, because I want it to stay. So yeah. So there we go. And so just want to make sure that we're in the middle here. Okay, so one thing I noticed about this tacky glue that I like a lot better than Elmer's glue, which, oh, I don't remember who it is that I follow that actually pointed this out, was that even though it dries pretty quickly, this glue, I'm just picking up the stray, you know, little glue globules, glue bubbles. Anyway, even though it seems to dry a little bit on the quick side, which is great, it also, it gives you enough time to like readjust, which is what I needed to do, if you can see here. So I have these little clips here to hold the book, my little book here, my signature straight up, straight up, just to help me out a little bit. Okay, so I just put these little clips here just to keep the signature together, just to make the drying time a little bit easier, at least in my mind it is. And so I'm just going to, what can I use to prop it up? I'll use this little bottle here. And so I'm just gonna let this dry, and then I'll be back. Okay, so it feels pretty dry. I mean, it feels dry enough. I don't think it's all the way dry, but I don't want this video to be like, you know, 50 years long. So I'm just gonna finish up, just so you can see the result of it, and we'll decorate it in the very next video that I do about this little booklet I just made. So since these, the little hidden spine is not hidden, I'm just going to trim it, and I'm not worrying about, I'm not worrying about, you know, making it a perfect cut, because I'm going to decorate this book, and none of this craziness is even going to show. So one thing that I did notice is that this part, I don't know what this part, like I know this is the spine, I forget what this is called. Don't scold me if you're a librarian, but because of the glue and how wet the glue is, it bubbled up a little bit. But I'm going to put some embellishment on this, and since this is like a nice, easy, smooth background, well, it's kind of like a faux crocodile, not crocodile, yeah, faux lizard skin kind of pattern on it. I have a good foundation of being able to decorate it, and I'm going to decorate it. And so in the very next video that I do about this, I'll be decorating it, and before then I'm going to make sure that all of these little pages here are not sticking out. I'm probably going to have to go in each one and cut it, you know, manually. It probably would have been a better idea to get all of the measurements accurately measured before I put this together, but that was just too tedious for me, and it was a little bit too fussy for me. And you know, if you ever wanted to do one and you wanted to not have to, you know, do all of the finishing touches that I'm gonna have to do, then you know, I would recommend getting all of the measurements, you know, accurately measured and cut, you know, before doing your stitching and gluing and all of that. But I'm not too worried about it because it's just easier for me to just put it together and then clean it up after. So so that's all I'm gonna do. And the number one thing that I have learned in doing this is that I need really good craft scissors. So if you're out there and you have a recommendation of what your favorite craft scissors are, these are dollar store scissors, and I got them because they're nice and small, and they still you know, they suit my purpose for now, but if I'm going to be doing this, which I am going to be doing this, I need better craft scissors. So yeah, so that's it. That's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun watching me put this together. I hope you like it, and I hope you'll join me on this little journey too of making a little gift for my very good best friend. So I will see you again soon, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my videos if you haven't already. And yeah, have a good day. I will see you later. Bye bye.